Hello, everyone. The whole three of you. Hope you're all doing well. Well, congratulations to all the ones who were hoping Donald Trump to win the presidency. I certainly am very delighted about that. And the ones who are not, well, you know, it happens. Okay, now let's see who we have here. You have Joseph Casano. Says, hi, Miran. I hope you are doing good. Thank you for that. So I'm currently in school for finance. Did you ever use your business administration degree and enjoy the work that came off it? Did it help you in any way? Good question. Joseph said, I'm 23 in New York, by the way. I have 3 semesters left after this one. So you mean semester? So you mean a year and a half? Or with this one, it'll be 2 years left? So you're 2 years in already? Could you kindly respond to that? And you said yes. All right. And Joseph said 1.5 years after this one, 2 years. All right. Well, look, I got my degree in business administration from Lewis and Clark in Portland, Oregon. It's one of the 10 top accredited universities for business and all that. At the time, it was like, I don't know, quite a years ago. I think it was 40 some odd years ago. 44 years ago, 45, 46 years ago. But anyhow, my experience is that your degree, whatever it may be, unless it's in sciences like chemistry, physics, math, and stuff like that, whatever it's going to be, such as stuff like business administration and all that, that degree is a ticket for you to put it on your resume so you can have an entry or permission to apply for a job. But once you get the job based on your education, which they would like to have somebody who's been familiar to not that particular field of study, what they want to see is that someone who has gone to university, which really all they're looking for is that someone who's gone to university with certain discipline and was able to start and finish something, and finish that something according to the grades in a high level of achievement. To them, that person represents someone who can learn, advance, and achieve and learn what they're trying to teach him to do for them. That's really what the university degree, whatever the field it is, especially in business administration, is going to do for you. Otherwise, once you get into that company, you're going to be seeing that none of the stuff you learned is actually going to help you. None, zero, nada. Because every job and company has their own ways, and in the real life is not like a theory. And they're going to teach you what you need to know from grounds up, their system, and that's what is going to be your real learning process and become good at what you're interested in or what your job is at. But you need this university thing with good grades in order to get that chance. Otherwise, you will still know nothing of that job just because it asked for business administration major. Doesn't mean when you get it, you know what to do. They got to teach you, and they will teach you. That's why they're a training program. And there will be certain jobs that you should be responsible for. They'll teach you how to do it and so on and so forth. And then you'll learn how to grow in that business. But in general, when you have had a background of business administration, you seem to be able to grasp things much better in business world than if you didn't have the education. And that's pretty much sums it up. Says I could finish history one semester sooner. History is not going to get you anywhere. You may end up in, I don't know, some kind of Minister of Foreign Affairs or United Nations bullshit job, which is all, rigged. I mean, it's United Nations just doesn't have a good name anymore for me. They seem to be all in part of a scam of the globalists and all that, such as WHO and all the other stuff, World Economic Forum and all that. So, and he says, but I don't want to minimize my options. I think finance and economics gives me more versatility and open doors. Yes, it does. Definitely it does. Forget the history shit. Just history is interesting to know. It's valuable, but not going to pay the bills for what you might be interested to do. It'll open more doors when you have business administration. You can actually, when I got my degree, almost anything was open. I got a job at Tektronix. Literally, technically, I got the job because right after graduation, I applied for Tektronix in Beaverton, Oregon. And they gave me the first interview, second interview, and 5 people interviewed me, and they gave me a welcome package. I was hired. And I was supposed to, I got the welcome package and supposed to show up on Monday or whenever it was. And when I talked to them, they said, just make sure you bring your immigration papers to us. I said, what the fuck? I'm not an immigrant. I just finished university. They said, oh, you're not an immigrant? I said, no. I said, I don't have a permanent residency. They said, oh, shit, that means we can't hire you. So that changed the course of my life, which I returned to Iran. And of course, before I landed, there was jobs waiting for me. That's how it was in the Shah's time. Economy was great. I had 4 or 5 jobs offered. I didn't call anybody. Our names were in some kind of a list of, according to our major, like Mehran Dadbeh, major business administration from, this and this college in the United States, whatnot. And these companies would call to hire. That's how good it was back then. So I got hired with this truck manufacturing company. It was a company manufacturing trucks, and I was hired as the assistant buyer, I was learning all these things. Great. And then, of course, I went to military, which I had to. And then after that, I came back out and I immigrated to Canada. So the point is that business administration opens lots of doors. You can actually get a job pretty much anywhere as long as it's not specifically scientific, like laboratory work, or you need a specific expertise, math, type of associated jobs, or physics or chemistry and things like that. None of that, but most other things are open. Sales job, management job, trainee job, bank job, all of these, they're all open to you. So go for it. Joseph says, I got an accounting internship and I hated it. Oh, you and I both. Accounting was one of the weakest subjects. I couldn't understand the damn things. It could have been language barrier because all the other vocabularies in the business world of business major academics, I had it down pat. But when I got to accounting, I couldn't understand certain things. And then majorly, even if I overcome those dictionaries and all that, I couldn't understand the whole concept of debit and liabilities and debit and credit and all. It just didn't. Now I do. I'm pretty good at it now. But I learned this when I had my own business and I had to figure out things, and then I learned it the way I needed to learn in the actual world. But I didn't learn it in school. I just passed the grade. So, says accounting, I hated it. Yeah, I did hate it too. I still remember the teacher's name. It's a great teacher. She knew shit pretty good, but I couldn't understand a damn thing from it. Finance I liked. One of my favorite courses was production management. I really loved that course. I really liked that. And I was hired as production management trainee in Tektronix. And I just couldn't wait. It didn't work out. Fuck it. All right. And Joseph was graciously has sent us a super chat, which is very good. And we decided to have super chat for all questions because that's how we can support the channel. As I mentioned, I've ran this channel for 13 years and always on my own account. Now it's time for you guys to, if you've enjoyed the channel, support it. I'm not going to support it out of my pocket anymore. So you want a question answered, better goddamn it come with the super chat. I hate to ask it, but dudes, nobody seems to be thinking about this channel unless I say it. And thank you, Joseph, for that. And Joseph says, I simply cannot understand how people do accounting and are functional human beings. It is the most boring. It is. Yeah, I can't. But there's some people that actually love that stuff. And so if they love it, they love it. That's perfectly fine. Just let me check. I'm doing something to my site. Sorry about that. I'm doing some changes to my site to make it more, efficient with the SEOs and all that. So my programmer is kindly having some glitches in as far as getting into. Uh, just one moment, guys. I leave a message and I'll be right back. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm trying to make the channel, I mean, the site work better. So there's a gentleman, my programmer is in Pakistan and he's working on it and he needed some codes, which I don't have it. I have to ask the previous expert who worked on my site and then get back to him. So Joseph said, I have a hard time with that too. Oh, you're talking to Stephen. Stephen is here. Says male 43 LA. Thank you very much. Says saw that you're live. Just want to say hello. Hello, Stephen. Good of you to show up. So I finally went to the gym. Aha. And did a proper work. Good. I'm going to start going again on my day off. Excellent. I was just at the gym today, and funny enough, uh, I had left out the cardio portion for a long time because the weather changed and I didn't have time to go on my hiking to the forest that I usually go. It's about an hour hike and it's a beautiful thing, a good cardio at the end, it's a good uphill. I hadn't done that for a while, just going to the gym and do the resistance training. And so I started doing the bicycle in the gym a few nights ago. And then 3 nights ago, the bicycle levels goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, so on, so on. I went, and 30 is the top number for it, is the highest level. So I went to 30 and it was not a problem. I did 20 minutes at 30 and 10 minutes at 15, and it was great. All right, just one moment. All right, all right. I hope that we won't be interrupted again for any reason, my programmer or friends and whatnot. All right. So anyhow, I went to level 30, and that is the highest, and it was like half an hour of leg work. And then I did that again the night after, then again the night after, then again tonight. So feels great. I feel like I don't know, Rocky. At this age, half an hour or 20 minutes at least on level 30, that's pretty goddamn good. All right. And I'm proud of you, Stephen. Keep it up. And Slobodan is here. It says Slobodan 24, Belgrade. How are you, Marian? Thank you very much, Slobodan. Thank you for stopping by. We have a live tonight. We don't have that many people here showing up. I wonder why. It's Friday night is here, but maybe many people have gone out locally, and the ones in Europe is early morning, and India is midday. And Stephen says, Marin, I know this question will not be a topic discussed on this channel. I'm not religious and feel that it's all made up. What are your thoughts on existence after death? Oh, that's a long talk, but I'm willing to entertain it if you guys are willing. There's only 5 people here, so why don't you guys give me a 1 if you want me to talk about it, and give me a 2 if you're not interested. So we'll go in it because it'll probably be like, I don't know, a few minutes, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes maybe, or 3 minutes, something like that. And Joseph actually gave us 2 super chats. Thank you for that, Joseph. So until I get the results from you guys, if you want me to talk about the question that Stephen asked, put a 1. And if you don't, put a 2. And Joseph says, Maran, when you do your live stream, do you do it spontaneously some nights? Yeah, I do. Because I think if you put the time you're going to do live earlier in the day, it would be easier to join them. I know, but you see, any time of the day I do, somebody's not going to be able to have it at the right time. For example, if I'm doing it now, locally, who are awake in West Coast will, but East Coast is 3 o'clock in the morning. They might be sleeping. If I do it like 12 noon, well, East Coast, West Coast, United States gets it, but then it's nighttime, but I don't know, 10 o'clock at night in Europe, they could be preparing to sleep for the next day. India would be 12 midnight. Nobody's going to wake up. Maybe they're busy. Some people may, but there's always going to be some kind of a, problem. So none of you heard me, did you? None of you answered 1 or 2 to talk about Stephen's question. Or are you guys ignoring me? Stephen asks, what are your thoughts on existence after death? So I'm asking you guys, if you want this answered, put a 1. If you don't want to spend the time to hear about it, then put a 2. Because it's an interesting subject, but depends on, what you... Slobodan says doing a lot better with HOCD and all the things we talked at Instagram, but still want to make appointment, just wanting for a freaking salary. Okay. And says, thank you for all response you gave me to me on Instagram. You literally saved me. My pleasure, Slobodan. You can always listen to them, or they're there for you to use, and the videos are there, of course. Do you guys hear me at all or not? Why is the hell nobody's answering me as far as the question I'm asking? Should I stop answering you? Should I stop answering you? I want to know if you guys are interested in this question that Stephen has put up. What are your thoughts on existence after death? If you want to talk about it, if you want me to talk about it, put a 1. I want to see how many people want to talk about it. So if it's only one or two, then we won't. I'll talk to Stephen privately. Joseph says, Maron, I get anxiety that because I hated accounting, I'm putting myself in a similar situation with finance and economics. But there are so many opportunities. I'm probably too young to see with finance. I don't understand the question. If you finish finance and economics, it's a good resume, it's a good title, it's a good field of study for getting a job. Hmm? It opens a lot more door than general business administration, which opens a lot doors for you. But if you have actually focused on finance and economics, you'd get pretty much lots of jobs. It'll open lots of doors, get you in there at least. The rest of it is your presentation, how you're going to be presenting yourself. Otherwise, and says, all right, yeah. So nobody's going to answer me. You're not going to give a yes or no. Yes or one being that you want me to talk about existence after death or what I think about it, or you don't. So nobody's going to just answer me at all. Should I take the same posture, not answer you guys at all, just sit here, look at each other? God damn it, I asked the question, answer me. Do you want me to talk about that topic or not? And if you don't, the hell with it, I'm going to talk about it. But I just know that, just want to know how many people are interested. So yes means, yeah, you're interested. No means you're not interested. Joseph's, I think, a video series on Christianity or other religious potentially being a cape would be helpful videos. Not on this channel, Joseph. I'm not an expert in particular religion, any particular religion. So making this a video about religion, I leave it to the religion or religious channels. Joseph says, I'm Christian, but struggle with it because my relationship with God is not necessarily one I can feel. So am I just basing it all on concepts? I don't know. Well, again, that's a private thing. I don't want to meddle with your mind that it is or not. That could be just my summation. But what I found out through my life is that when you're a child, religions are very good because children don't have any vector, anywhere to get answers, and they have lots of questions. And believing that there is some entity, some energy, some organized intelligence, or some God, they could leave what they don't know to him or her, however the God is being politically correct. It would help them to stay on the right track when they don't know what is right, what is wrong. And children often don't know what is right, what is wrong. And there's lots of negative influences as they're grown up and could derail them from a wholesome life. So, religious beliefs could be a savior for lots of children. And when they grow up to become 18, 20, or whatever it is that they find themselves knowledgeable or a thinker, they can decide to continue or not to continue. But I believe it is pretty important and pretty good to have a certain kind of a belief. I don't care if it's going to be the religions that we know about or just believe in universe, believe in the energy of the universe, believe in the nature's power, believes in the nature or the universe being the creator. To know that there is something out there that has created us and the world, rather than thinking that we are just, you know, what we are and not have any ability to answer questions that is not within our knowledge and power at that age to have any opinion about. So the guidelines of a good positive belief could help a child to stay on the right track. You know, religions are like if you're falling from top of the tree, you've gone all the way up and you're falling, and you can hang on to one of the branches as you come down so you won't fall hard, or at least you will be grabbing onto something. And religion is that branch that when life has all these challenges and tribulations, you will have something to lay back on, or have it to be your foundation, or to hold you from falling until you're old enough, strong enough to climb or to stand your balance, or uh, fend the uh, negative things that approach us all in life, especially when we're a child. So that's my view on that. Joseph says, speaking of religion, I asked a question on one of your recent videos on this. In one of your videos, you said something along the lines of, if you unlock full potential of your mind, you can defy gravity. Oh, I remember. I think I responded that to you, and I think I sent a link, didn't I? And this is probably what you're talking about. Why don't we all watch this 59-second video? And this is probably what you're talking about. This one is 1 minute and 39 seconds. Okay, here it is. Subscribe on my channel, visit my channel, and go through the videos that you might be interested in. Mind@seekstruth.com is making it one step away to talk to me one-on-one on Skype and discuss what's concerning you. I'll talk to you soon. Well, we too, like the iceberg, have 1,000 times bigger powers that is not visible, and we must. Why? Is it something we're rambling on and I expect you to accept it? Or is there actually another power within us? Would you come and help me out? Okay. What I want you to do is put your hands underneath my arms and just lift me up. There we go. Okay, now, that's my physical part, right? Same thing. Again, with that. Just want to see if there's any difference. Go ahead. Now, go ahead. Now, this, go ahead, when you're ready.
Go ahead.
So you see, this is different than what he was doing, and I'm not really doing anything. You convinced?
Yeah.
So are you guys convinced that there is something other than, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. So, first of all, again, what's wrong with you guys? Nobody answered me. I asked you a question. Did you goddamn it answer me? I'm gonna boycott this channel. So there are 5 of you here. I want 5 answers, yes or no, on the question I asked about Stephen's question. You did your best to answer. No, I want to see a 1 or a yes or a 2 or a no. 1 for yes, 2 for no. That's how I can count. I don't want a paragraph. Joseph says no. All right. 2 means no. Yeah, Joseph, but you said no. You said 2. 1 is a yes, 2 is a no. So how about other people? Are you guys going to answer me or not? All right. Joseph, are you hearing me? You're talking back and forth. You say, also, I ask this because I'm curious to know your beliefs in this way due to your background Aikido. Yes, but you said no. Can you see your answer? Your answer to respond to discuss the good question that Stephen asked is a no. It's contrary to your paragraphs. Even though you gave another super chat, doesn't matter. What do you mean you hear me, Joseph? Are you saying yes or no? You in your paragraph you say you want to know, but your answer is a 2, which means no. So very good, confusing. Okay. All right. So anyhow, I don't seem to have any answer from anybody else. It looks like only Joseph is here. Even Stephen hasn't responded, even though he's the one who put the question. I think he's gone. He's left. Everybody's left the building. It's Joseph and I. All right, we're shrinking by the moment. Now we're three. We're three musketeers. Now show me who are these three. I know one is me, one is Joseph. Who's the third one? Show me. You know that this is not a lecture, so unless you guys ask a question, there would be nothing said here. So either pose a question or respond to my question. Joseph, I asked a different question. Oh, did you? I don't see. I can see a super chat, but I don't see a question. So, for instance, no, hang on. Do you mean this literally as an analogy? Oh, okay, you've got something. It says, speaking of religion, I asked a question on one of your recent, in one of your videos, if you unlock the potential. Okay, so well, that's not a question. So did you mean this literally or as an analogy? Forgive me for a lack of understanding Eastern philosophy, but I know that some believe that through meditation you can levitate, defy laws. Well, that would be something that I've been looking for myself, and I do believe that is possible, but I don't have the power to engage that option. But I do believe that there are powerful, powerful uh, potential to the mind to be used in ways, and I have felt that power through ability to have someone across the world feel the energy that was extended at the same time, same moment, prearranged, and ask that person if that person could feel my energy. And that was a go, that was a positive thing, which that always represented itself that we're all made out of energy, and all portals, all existence of all plants and all things are connectors and able to transmit our energy from one corner of the universe to the other corner of the universe. So in other words, you focus on sending certain kind of energy, and all the molecules of the air in the atmosphere between the countries or continents are all made at the same energy that your existence is made. So you can piggyback on their flow of energy and carry and have your energy carry to a point where you're not there physically. And the person at that point can feel it. That's one. But generally, it also means that your mind has got so much ability and power and determination that if you can put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything. Whether it's a difficult lesson, whether it's difficult academic experience and training, or whether it's a difficult physical challenge, to a certain level on your physical abilities, you can use the power of mind to enhance that. For example, as I mentioned, one of my interesting experiences was when I was in the military, and I was the night guard or the weekend guard with a buddy of mine. And the buddy of mine, we were both guarding the unit when everybody else had gone for the weekend. The buddy of mine was actually a champion weightlifter of press off the ground, and he was a pretty big boy, much taller than me and bigger than me. When we were at our post, which was inside the unit, we were talking about different things, and we ended up talking about meditation and the power of mind. And of course, I introduced to him what that exercise was. And he said, "How could that be?" I said, "Well, for example, I'm pretty small compared to you. So physically, you should be able to lift the smaller object, which I am the smaller object, and you're the bigger object. So go ahead and lift me up, put your hands underneath my arms and lift me up." And so he did so like that, not a problem. So I said, "I haven't changed my mass, as you can see. Nothing is being added or hanging on me. Now I want you to try it again." So he tried it again. There was no way. He was turning red, and he said, "I can't believe it. I pressed 300 kilo, or whatever the poundage was at the time. How can I not lift you? You're only what, 70 kilo, 60 kilo? And I said, "Because you're not lifting me as a mass, as a weight. We are all connected through energy to everything. And once we have a way to connect ourselves to the mother nature, to the universe at large, as having come from the universe, we connect back into the universe. Then now you're trying to lift the universe, not me anymore. Physically, you're connected to me, trying to lift me up. But in fact, I am a portal for the universe. So you're trying to lift the universe because I'm now one with the universe, but I look like me, so to speak. I said it is like having a drop of the ocean water outside the ocean on the sand. And if you look at it, it's a drop of the ocean. But in fact, it's separated from the ocean, but in fact, it belongs to the ocean water, which is tremendous power and magnitude. And if you put the same drop that is outside of the ocean, if you roll it back and put it in the ocean, it becomes the ocean again. It is now not, you cannot deal with it as one drop because it has been rolled back into the ocean. Now, same thing, you're individually weaker in many ways, but you're more capable when you're connected to the universal energy, which is like me, the drop of the ocean, rolling back into the ocean, becoming one with the whole. So I'm becoming one with where I came from, the energy of the universe that has part of it put in me, and I call it my life. But in fact, it's the part of the universal energy's life encased in my body. It's like when you go in front of the ocean and put your hands into the ocean and bring somewhat of the water of the ocean out, you say, my water. In your eyes, it's your water because it's in your hand. But in the eyes of the great ocean, it's part of the great ocean's water in your hand. Huh? So the same thing here. In my eyes, in my life, as long as I'm individualistic or separated myself from the universe. But in the eyes of the great universe is part of universal energy encased in my life. So if I connect back to it, then I'm more capable, and my potential is much more, because now, same way that my friend couldn't lift me up, even though he was a power lifter of his weight. So that's pretty much what I have to say about that, I guess. Hope that answers your question. So pretty much, I mean, in a way, both. One of the instructors who came from Japan when I was still in university, we had a special class. And at the end of the class, we just gathered around him, and he sat down with cross-legged, these being the legs and these being the knee. But imagine he's sitting on the floor, cross-legged. And then we were trying to see what he was talking about, the energy, the key, which is not visible, but it's floating all around. It's like, the analogy would be like the Force in Star Wars, that it goes through you, it bonds you, it passes through you, but you can control it. It is invisible, but yet its effects are visible. Like the video that you just saw. There was nothing changed in me, but when I connect with the universal energy, the bigger student couldn't lift me up, where second before, he could lift me up. Or my friend in the army. So when we were sitting down and around the instructor, he said, okay, you can put your hand underneath my knee, one of the knees. So I put my hand there. And he said, okay, now I'm going to think down at his one point. That's when we extend key. So when he was thinking down, oh my goodness, it was like how you have your when you're ironing your shirt and it's steaming out, you know how that steam comes out? It was like a steam of some kind of a power was pushing my hand away from his knee. And then he says, I'm now going to think my top of my head. And when he did that, it was like my hand was being sucked into his elbow. It was an amazing power, something beyond my understanding at the time. But through some practices and focus, I could create not as a strong, but similar effect to be at least felt when such examples are being demonstrated. And I remember in one of the gatherings with the master from Hawaii, who was visiting our school and teaching for a week or so, when we all gathered in a restaurant and his wife was with him, and it was time to show some things, some magical stuff. So he asked his wife if she can give him a chopstick. And of course, his wife had a chopstick wrapped in its proper paper. So he tore the paper in half, broke the chopstick. There are two of them stuck together, and put one of them on the two fingers of one of the students. So the student held his fingers like this, and they put the chopstick on top of it. And he rolled down the paper that the chopstick was wrapped in it, which was very flimsy, like a tissue paper. He rolled it up to make it this long. He grabbed on one end and he broke that chopstick on the two fingers of that student with striking it down with this paper, which the paper was simply a conductor of the energy. It wasn't powerful enough to break anything, but it was key energy was extended through this paper, making the paper like a steel, or its power in some way that it actually, boom, broke it. We were pretty amazed because it was in front of our own eyes. We saw it. I saw it. Everybody saw it. Paper broke a piece of wood. So these are things that when proper connection and know-how is done with the energy floating in the universe, amazing things can happen. So I think that should answer your question. And Joseph says, how do you do that trick with not being able to be lifted up? It's not a trick. It's not a trick. It's real. It's just the way the mind is going to think, which that approach is the same way of connecting with the universal energy, nature's energy. As I mentioned, then no longer the person is lifting you up. The person is trying to lift the whole universe, including himself. It's just how to focus, where to focus. I've explained all that in the videos and also in my book, Me, My Psyche, and I, in the chapter, hang on. Me, My Psyche, and I, in the chapter Mind that seeks truth, mind is home, mind and meditation. Mind needs a home should be the one that talks about it. It's page 214. It goes to 222. We have unifying mind and body by living in the present. Ego is derailing our tranquility is another chapter. Approaching life one-dimensionally is another chapter. Hope in life, meditation, our mind and meditation. Our mind needs a home, the calm mind, nourishing the body, forgetting the mind, and so on and so forth. There's so many things, 360 pages or 339 pages or 360 pages. All right. So you have all the explanations in that book and in some of the videos. Unfortunately, I don't know which one. All right, guys, it's been about an hour, and I think I will respond to Stephen's question privately on some other time, because I never got any answer from you guys other than one no. And I don't think Stephen is here either, because he just said he's stopping by to say hello. So even if I answer it, it's not gonna he's not gonna hear it. Because I was gonna answer it if he was here, regardless of what you guys think. He asked the question, I'll answer it. But because it was gonna be a little bit long, I wanted to see if you guys are gonna hang around to hear it. But I didn't get any answer, so the hell with you all. All right, guys. There's another one. Robin Richards says, hi, Sweden 36. Okay, Sweden is not a gender. Something is missing there. Robin is male, female. Sweden 36 says, is delaying compulsion a good way to quit OCD? Delaying to begin with, but eliminating is very important. Let me explain. When you delay, you are training your mind not to be so anxious or needy about compulsion, because you're trying to prove to the brain that hell wouldn't break loose, or hell wouldn't, what is it? I don't know what the what the expression. Anyhow, you're proving to your brain that the hell is not going to boil over if you don't do the compulsion. And so the brain learns, okay, I need, it was a obsession, I need a compulsion. Compulsion is not given. And you know what happens? The reason you want the compulsion after obsession is because you remember that there was an obsession. Lo and behold, once you actually get distracted from the obsession without having done the compulsion, but something happens, whether time passes, whether you get busy, an emergency happens, and you forget about the obsession that was calling for compulsion, you won't do the compulsion. Later on, you remember, hey, I didn't do the compulsion, nothing happened. I don't need to do compulsion. The urge will go away as the time passes. Whether you purposely let the time pass and you're not thinking about it, but if you let the time pass after the obsession tells you you need the compulsion, but you're still thinking about the compulsion, it wouldn't help much. You're resisting it, that's good, but you may still want to do it after a while time passes, because you're still focusing on it, and the focusing on it brings about that there is still a need. But once you forget about it, or time passes, you get distracted, or something comes up, and you somehow forget about this compulsion that you needed because of the obsession, you won't even need to do the compulsion, because the urge will go off. It's like you've done the compulsion. That's how you feel. So it is good to do that, but with the aim of increasing the time of it, to eventually knowing that I've done this several times, and every time I increase the time, and at the end of it, I actually didn't need to do it, so I'm not going to do it. And knowing that will help your brain to actually relax and say, oh, he doesn't need to do it. Not that he needs to do it, but he's not going to do it. Just doesn't need to. And that was a good question. And so that was Robin, male, Sweden 36. And thank you for that, Robin. Does that answer your question, Robin? Oh, my goodness. That's nice. I'm sleepy early tonight. You're welcome, Robin. All right. If you have no more questions, it's been an hour and 3 minutes and 33 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds going up. And Joseph, thank you for everything. You're quite welcome. It's time for me to say thank you very much for giving the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. I look forward to our next live stream. In the meantime, Be good to yourself and to the others, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.
Damn, I thought she is the one. Everything was all good. She suddenly turned as if I was no longer who I was anymore. Why did she do that? Why do I feel so devastated? How can I feel better? How can I understand what is going on in my head? How can I go on? I will never fall in love again. Ah, things finally make sense. I now understand why she did what she did, and why I feel so shitty about it all, and why I miss her so much. I now know how to not miss her, and how to move on and build a better me, more confident and more aware of the role of my thoughts, consciousness, desires, fears, and ego in my relationship, and how I feel after a breakup. I got to talk to him or watch his videos on YouTube.
It may all seem like a mystery to you right now, but you can always go to my YouTube channel where you will find over 300 videos on this subject and more. You can find out exactly why you feel the way you do and why your thoughts are the way they're reacting and the role of your psyche in all this. Plus, how to feel good again, become strong and get your confidence back and ready to move on. And more importantly, how to move on. And you will certainly be fine once you know how your mind works, dear. If you still needed to talk to me one-on-one, that's always possible through my site, mindthatseekstruth.com. There you can book a Skype consultation time for us and we can chat about what's concerning you. This is what I do with all people who need it from all around the world.